Last night, at about the time that myself and Gio did our Cup of Tea podcast, there was a rumour going round of a massive training ground bust up at West Ham involving Karren Brady and David Sullivan and David Moyes and Arthur Masuaku and everybody was involved. It was a bit like I think would be like a WWE Royal Rumble, let's say, where with some ladders and some chairs and all that sort of stuff that they get involved in. The biggest thing I can say about this rumour, which is not true, by the way, is that West Ham is such a circus at the moment that it may well have been believable, and I think a lot of the websites at the time were running with it, and some of them I've gone and looked for them again today to try and print screen them, and a lot of them have taken it down. Not because I think they've been threatened with taking it down or anything like that, but it is just it's a nonsense story, and I'm not sure what anybody gets out of stirring the pot like this. But the phone just kept on buzzing when I was doing a cup of tea with Gio. The phone's buzzing, and I've got it on silent. But you can see it going off all the time, and it's people saying this is terrible, this is disgusting. West Ham are such a mess. And look, there are lots of reasons to be annoyed with West Ham, and I think if you've looked at my videos over the last 5 or 6 days, I'm quite annoyed about West Ham. But we don't need to make up stuff. But I thought the story, nonetheless, was quite a funny one. So allow me just to share. Let me move over, as I like to do. Allow me just to share the story with you. So it came through it wasn't a tweet or an exchange with me or a message with me, but it looks like a direct message of some description, where it looks like it's come from, I don't know, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, something like that. Anyway, it starts off by saying, some bad news for you this morning, meaning yesterday morning. Camp's been going mental, clearly meaning the training camp, the training ground, let's say. KB, meaning Karren Brady, came to the training ground Saturday to try and explain the Diangana sale. Now, first of all, let me just say that Karren Brady never goes to that training ground. I think she's been there a maximum of 3 times. 2 of them were for big events. 1 of them was for the opening. She doesn't go down to the training ground. She has an office at the stadium which she works at twice a week, if we're lucky. If she's lucky, if we're unlucky, let's say. She doesn't get involved in transfers either, so there's no reason for Karren Brady to go and explain about buying and selling. Sullivan does the buying and selling. Brady has nothing. She has day-to-day logistical operations. Is basically Karren Brady's job. So anyway, so it says she went down on Saturday trying to explain the Diangana sale to David Moyes, who would not let her in the dressing room. You shall not pass, apparently, he said. And David Moyes won't let her in the dressing room. Swearing non-stop, which led to a war of words. So I guess David Moyes is supposedly swearing through the dressing room door, I'm guessing, because he's not opening the dressing room door. So through the door, he's swearing at Karren Brady, shouting through the door. Oh, Karren Brady's lost it. This is not real, by the way. I'm just reporting what's been written. Karren Brady's lost it, apparently. Shouting back through the door. Oh, she's exploded, Karren Brady has. You're sacked, in front of all the players, who are presumably also behind the door. David Sullivan came in an hour later. Just that in itself is preposterous. That Karren Brady's at the training ground, and then David Sullivan barely goes to the training ground. He went there on a couple of occasions again when Jack was running the ladies team, which of course he still is, because they play some of their games at the football pitch, which is there. There's a little stadium type thing at the training ground, and that's where the ladies played some games. David Sullivan went there clearly to support his son. So David Sullivan came back an hour later and apologised to Moyes. Karren Brady may lose her job. You wish, by the way, you wish. The players are stunned at the incompetence of the board. Are they really? Are they really? Because it didn't sound like when Mark Noble was discussing this on his Twitter account, that Mark Noble was particularly stunned with what was going on. And the talks of a general strike amongst players on Saturday, meaning they may well strike ahead of the Saturday game, which is of course against Newcastle. Now, there's a lot of other stuff that came with this, but this is just the main message, and it's a laugh. We need a laugh. All the other videos have been very serious. Obviously, myself and Gio had a laugh about particularly Icelandic hookers, if you remember, on the cup of tea last night. But the other messages that came along with this, that they will try and make some form of protest of players against the board before the game against Newcastle. It says the Premier League are ready for it and will hide it as a Black Lives Matter. Very scary. Now, what they mean is, obviously, they're going to try and hide the West Ham protest, the Premier League, and cover it up as if it's part of the Black Lives Matter. Now, I don't know how they're going to do this, because actually, it looks as if half the players have fallen out. Oh, blimey, I've done it again, sorry. It looks like half the players... Is that microphone still working? We won't find out until I test it and edit it and put the video up, I guess. I might have to just record this all over again. Some of the players have fallen out with some of the other players. Apparently, they're kicking each other and stuff. So I just had this... I just had this vision in my mind of them all getting ready to fight each other and protest, and they all take the knee for the Black Lives Matter thing before the match has kicked off. And you know, some Mark Noble, why did you punch Arthur Masuaku? Oh, well, yeah, I was kneeling down to do the Black Lives Matter. I put my fist in the air for unity and solidarity. And I just punched him, and I don't know. Anyway, we'll get to the Mark Noble and Masuaku thing in a minute. But the fact that the Premier League would try and dress up any West Ham protest as something else is laughable. I mean, absolutely laughable. Anyway, so it's very scary, very scary. West Ham could be thrown out of the league if this goes ahead. Might do us a favour, quite frankly. All players love DM, meaning David Moyes. Not direct messages. They like David Moyes. In love with David Moyes. Diangana Sale camp divided. Declan Rice. Who's AC? Who's AC? Come on. I don't know. Who's AC? People are screaming at this. Who's AC? Declan Rice, AC. MN. I don't know. I don't know what it. Mark Noble, of course. Aaron Cresswell. Oh, sorry. Aaron Cresswell, Mark Noble are gutted. Declan Rice, Aaron Cresswell, Mark Noble are gutted. FA, Felipe Anderson, Arthur Masuaku, SH, Sebastian Haller, and ID, Issa Diop are all delighted as it means more football for Felipe and Arthur. Right, okay. It's not a well-composed message, really, is it? So what they're saying is, let's get this right, that basically Felipe Anderson, Arthur Masuaku, Sebastian Haller, and Issa Diop are all sort of in cahoots with each other, which is pretty weird, really, because we know different. Put it that way. We know different. We know Sebastian Haller quite like Diangana, actually. But apparently they're pleased because it means Arthur Masuaku and Felipe Anderson will be playing on the wing. It didn't sound like Sebastian Haller was too pleased with Felipe Anderson and Arthur Masuaku playing on the wing. They basically won't cross the ball to him, so I think that's why he quite wanted to play alongside Diangana. Also, I do remember that Sebastian Haller actually endorsed what Mark Noble was saying, didn't he, on one of his accounts. Anyway, this is good. This is the best stuff. It all came to a head yesterday morning as Mark left his foot in on a tackle on Arthur. Basically, Mark Noble kicked Arthur Masuaku. Arthur was screaming on the floor while Mark laughed. No unity. Well, clearly, there's no unity. Could be the death of our club. No players trained this morning as a result. I mean, what makes me laugh? Well, everything makes me laugh. But at the end, when it says, could be the death of our club. Our club. I mean, somebody has written this to clearly make things worse at West Ham, then has the audacity to say our club. Look, there's been a lot. You don't need to make things up. West Ham is so ridiculous. West Ham is such a soap opera. You don't need to make up this additional stuff. But I did find it very, very funny. And and when I looked at what particular video I might do today, I just couldn't get away from that. But anyway, I just thought I'd put it out there because enough people have messaged me. I've got enough WhatsApp messages on my phone to know that some people are taking this seriously. And I don't, everyone I've spoken to, by the way, I mean everybody, has said this is absolute rubbish. But it's funny rubbish.